Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to my F1 2020 My Team Career Mode here for episode number 6 for the Monaco Grand Prix. If you missed the previous one, the one at the Spanish Grand Prix, be sure you check that one out before you see this one. After a very successful Spanish Grand Prix, as we finished the Spanish Grand Prix in P10 in the points for only the second time this season. So yeah, we're just going through the calendar and now we have the iconic Monaco Grand Prix coming up in for the next race here in the My Team Career Mode, and I have always been very comfortable with the Monaco circuit. It's one of my favorite circuits to drive, so I'm really optimistic for this race. And now let's jump into qualifying. So here we are then for the start of our first flying lap in this Monaco Grand Prix. Obviously, we all know, or if you don't know, the most important qualifying of the whole year is in Monaco. So this will be the most important qualifying session of the whole year because obviously, as you can see, the walls are pretty tight. The track is really narrow, you can't really overtake here in Monaco. So the qualifying is even more important than it is in any other racetracks as we come across the line after our first flying lap, and it is P5, which is absolutely great. We're down to P10 by the time we start our second flying lap as we come to turn 1, gain a lot of time at turn 1 already. So yeah, as I said before, I'm really comfortable with this track and I love driving this track, even though it's really hard not to make a mistake or not to try and hit a wall. But I still love driving the circuit. As we're currently in P10, we have improved massively in this lap. As we run across the line, it's all the way up into P6, but we have one more qualifying lap to go. So here we are then, as we start our final lap in this qualifying session. There you can see Lewis Hamilton is right behind us. And if you've watched the last episode, our last lap in qualifying got ruined by Max Verstappen, who was starting really close behind us too. But thankfully, this is a track where you can't really overtake, and Lewis Hamilton has to stick behind us, which is going to eventually ruin his qualifying lap. But this is such an iconic track, such an iconic place, so we'll let you guys enjoy my final qualifying run in this qualifying session for the Monaco Grand Prix. We have gained once again on this last qualifying lap across the line. What's it going to be? We have qualified in the top 10. That's exactly what I was looking for. Qualifying in the top 10 in Monaco. We have done that with P9. And now I just can't wait for the race. And we just jump in straight away into the race.
Nelson Piquet once said that driving the Circuit de Monaco was like riding a bicycle around your living room, and it's not hard to see what he means by that. There's no more prestigious a Grand Prix victory than Monaco, but also none so challenging. We're on the French Riviera once more this weekend at the 2-mile-long Circuit de Monaco. The cars climb around 40 metres up through Beau Rivage, onto the casino, and then descending down towards the harbour through Sector 2. It's a very short run from pole position to the first of the 19 corners here, 7 to the left and 11 to the right. There's one single DRS zone as well, so don't expect that to make overtaking any easier today. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are three main things to worry about there, Crofty: positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Leclerc, Alexander Albon, and Perez, Vettel, Ricciardo, the captain, and Lando Norris, Sainz, Stroll, Daniel Kvyat and Ocon, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Pierre Gasly and Kevin Magnussen, Grosjean, De Vries, Latifi and George Russell ends our grid lineup. And now it's time to head down to the track.
So here we are then, on the grid for the Monaco Grand Prix in 2020 in my My Team Career mode. We're starting in P9, which is great news for us. Starting in the P10 in Monaco is always great, but now we have to wait for 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go. Ricciardo gets a great start compared to us, but in the second phase of the start we're gaining massively on Daniel Ricciardo and we send it to the inside and we have passed Daniel Ricciardo into turn 1. We have already gone 1 position up, we've gained 1 position and we're up into P8 in Monaco at the start, which is great, as Lance, Sergio Perez and Sebastian Vettel are fighting in front as we go really out wide, and there's Ricciardo once again as we get the place ahead of him. And Lando Norris has gone ahead of Daniel Ricciardo too, as Sergio Perez and Sebastian Vettel are still fighting in front of us. They're still going on as we see the gap round the outside as Perez hit Vettel and is pushing Vettel to the outside. They're still fighting in front of us in Monaco. How is that even possible? As we see the gap down the inside of Sergio Perez, we don't get the better acceleration. He obviously has a Mercedes engine, but we're going to nick it down the inside on Sergio Perez, and we have got ahead of Sergio Perez too. We have gained 2 massively important positions in this first lap of Monaco in the racetrack where you can't really overtake. So after lap 1, the position you are after lap 1 is very likely going to be the position you will finish the race, or you will be likely to finish the position in sort of that area if nothing goes wrong. But there's still 19 laps to go. There's a lot that can go wrong currently, but we're now up into P7 after just 1 lap of this Monaco Grand Prix, which is great. So now we move from the end of beginning of lap 2 to the end of lap 4 onto lap 5, and we are still in P7. We have a massive gap to Sebastian Vettel in front. We're currently controlling the gap to Sergio Perez, who is the car behind us right now, but we have that under control. And yeah, as I said many times in this video, it's really hard to overtake in Monaco. Obviously there's only 1 DRS zone, which is at the beginning of the lap, but obviously the acceleration out of the last corner is really hard to get, so it's extremely hard to make a move on the main straight, which is actually not the place where you'd make a move. Here after the tunnel into the chicane is probably the place where you make the most moves in Monaco, or at the end on the last chicane. But now we come onto lap 6 and we come into the pits for our 1 and only pit stop in this race. And this is where it can go horribly wrong in Monaco, as we saw in real life with Daniel Ricciardo in 2016. So yeah, a lot that can go wrong, but obviously this is just a game. But still, everything has to go smoothly. We change from the soft tires to the medium tires, and we exit the pit lane, hopefully not right behind the car. There's Nicholas Latifi just past us. No, we have a small gap to Nicholas Latifi, so he'll probably won't hold us up as much. But now we move after a pit stop, still on lap 7, and we have caught up to Nicholas Latifi, and he is actually now holding us up a bit. Actually, I said he won't hold us up too much, but obviously misjudgment there. He is holding us up a fair bit now, but obviously Sergio Perez pitted with us, so we don't have any threat of an undercut or overcut from any other car. Obviously, I was not trying to undercut Sebastian Vettel because he's way too far ahead in front of us, as Nicholas Latifi was slowing down massively into the chicane. And this is the corner where I meant you can make great moves too, as I expected Nicholas Latifi to dive into the pits, but he did not. So that's offset me into the final corner. We open DRS and see, this is what I mean. You can't really make a move or gain on the main straight of this Monaco Grand Prix. So you have to try to make a move elsewhere. But obviously, at the end of the lap, he will obviously go into the pit stop. We saw the gap down the inside, but think better of it for now against Nicholas Latifi. But we now move to the middle part of lap 8, and we still haven't passed Nicholas Latifi, but he gets a slight snap of oversteer, and now we have finally passed Nicholas Latifi as we got the traction down. We have passed Nicholas Latifi and are up into P11. But obviously that P11 will turn into P7 after everyone has done their pit stop, and we moved all the way to lap 16 because literally nothing has happened in this Monaco Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel is way too far in front of us. Sergio Perez is on a good gap behind us. He didn't come close. But now we move to the final lap, and there is Sergio Perez. He has closed back up to us under 1 second now. But obviously this is the closest he has been over the past 3 or 4 laps. So yeah, he wasn't really coming close to us, wasn't really challenging us. So yeah, not a really action-packed Monaco Grand Prix. But obviously the end result is great. We will finish this Monaco Grand Prix in P7, the best finish for us and our team Alfa Ferrari in Monaco, in Formula 1. We finish the Monaco Grand Prix in P7. Get in.
It's the one that everyone wants to win, and they've only gone and done it. What a fantastic result here at Monaco. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on the track was today: speed. I know it sounds like an obvious thing to say, Crofty, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
After showcasing some incredible driving, there's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves.
So Max Verstappen wins the Monaco Grand Prix ahead of Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas, and we end up in P7. The best result for us and our team in Formula 1. P7 at Monaco. I said I was optimistic for this race, but finishing in P7 is just great. Our teammate Nicholas Latifi, Nick de Vries, finishes in P18. We're up into P11 of the Drivers' Championship, but the Constructors' Championship is what is more important to me, and we have jumped AlphaTauri and now back up into P7. And I said a while ago, or in my last video maybe, that the goal for this season is ending up in P7 and beating AlphaTauri. So that was an important step, important race to fight for P7 in the Constructors' Championship, I guess. But yeah, that would really make me happy. That would be a successful season if we would, in the end of the season, stand in P7. But obviously there's still a lot of races to go. There's a lot of things that can happen. So yeah, nothing is guaranteed until now. But obviously I'm still very, very happy with the Monaco race result. P7 is great, as we now just try and purchase some upgrades that will come in for the next race in Baku. I also love the Baku City circuit. It's one of my favorite circuits in the game to drive to. So I'm really, really looking forward to that too. But yeah, just purchasing the final upgrades. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did so, please smash that like button and subscribe for more content of my F1 2020 career mode and just Formula 1 content in general. Thank you very, very much for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.